perspective from across the pond, because it is time for the To Die For Daily podcast with Kinsey Schofield. 3 nights in a row, Kinsey. I never knew we'd have to do this again, but here we are. Piers Morgan's naming and shaming, in a way, of the lickspittle Omid Scobie. He's given him another going over tonight. What are they saying in America? What's going on over there?
Yeah, I know. I heard Pierce's latest tirade. I needed ointment after it. I was like, oh my gosh, Omid's going to need a Band-Aid. Well, you know, actually what I think is quite interesting is, number one, the U.S. media has named both of the individuals, which did take over 24 hours after Pierce originally did it. I thought that was interesting that took a bit of time. Additionally, I want to talk to you about 2 pieces of media Omid has done here in the States. Number one, he talked to ABC News. I think that aired late last night. And what he told Nightline was that he could not tell them who the royal racists were, but he wasn't opposed to releasing that information in the future.
Oh, yeah.
Now, I also found an interview with Omid from Vanity Fair magazine that has to be weeks old because it features new photos of him, Mike. And, you know, I'm sure Omid loves a good headshot.
Oh, yeah.
But he spoke to Vanity Fair magazine, and he told them that it's time to burn bridges. He's ready to burn bridges when it comes to the royal family. And I get a sense that he's ready to burn bridges when it comes to the Duke and Duchess of Sussex. Who gave him this information? He denies that it's Harry and Meghan, although, you know, a cynical person would argue that there's a lot of evidence that he could have received that information from Harry and Meghan or someone in their circle. But it does seem like they have been pining to get back into the British royal family. And perhaps they did not know that this was going to be Omid's strategy, and they're caught off guard at this point in time. But telling Nightline that he is willing to inevitably talk about the royal racists, you know, maybe one day he'll name them. Right. And then to tell Vanity Fair that he's ready to burn bridges. I just think that those are some interesting quotes from here in the States, knowing what we know tonight, which is that his translator said those names appeared in her English version.
Exactly right. Well, there's seemingly many parts of his story and many things that Piers Morgan was pointing out tonight that he has lied about in the past. And you have to conclude, if somebody's willing to do that, including lying about his age, lying about something he witnessed at the Mirror when he supposedly worked there, all of that. But let's have a look at what he said when he was on Good Morning Britain, which was here this morning in this country.
I had never submitted a book that had their names in it, so I can only talk about my version. Yeah. I'm obviously frustrated. I wouldn't say I'm upset about it, because, to be honest, I've been operating in a bubble of no emotion for the last 10 days. But I am frustrated about it, just like I am many of the other things that I've seen written or said about the book.
Well, he's frustrated, but he didn't put those names into any manuscript. So it's an absolute mystery and a completely unanswerable question, it would seem, Kinsey. Nobody knows how those names got to the Netherlands.
Well, Saskia tells us that it was there in black and white, which, you know, in hindsight sounds kind of racist. So I would have used different words. But she says it was right there in black and white in the English manuscript she received, that she transcribed into Dutch. And, you know, she opened the door willingly. This is the way she makes her money. And she spoke to the Daily Mail. I feel like she would not put her face, her name, herself out there if she weren't desperate. This feels like an act of desperation to clear her name, because this is her livelihood, Mike. And Omid can continue to go and sell rumors and sell stories that the royal family, protocol-wise, are not in a position to fight. But this woman, this is her 9 to 5, this is her day job, and this is how she pays the bills. So she has got to rectify the situation on her behalf.
Yes, and she said she feels uncomfortable being at the centre of such a big story, which most people would say if they ever become that individual. But she's also said...
But not Omid. Omid, if a camera and a microphone's in Omid's face, he's like, make sure you get my new earrings. Yes. Make sure you get my new nose.
Yes, although not for when Piers Morgan asked him to come on, because I know Piers was trying to get him on his show tonight, and he didn't take up that particular offer. But here's the thing, you know, she said basically she's been doing translation of books most of her life. It's her livelihood, it's her business, as you say. This has never happened before. This has never been something that has hit her desk. She's never been asked to translate a book and then find out that something was in it that wasn't in any other edition of the book in other parts of the world.
And just the Daily Mail describing her as clearly shocked and nervous. I mean, I would be so shocked and nervous too if all of a sudden I had the entire world on my doorstep asking if it was me that had made a mistake or did something horribly vindictive or, you know, something that could potentially make you end up in a court of law. So I trust this individual. I hesitate to trust somebody that told Vanity Fair weeks ago, and it was just published 3 days ago, that he was